Hey, my name's Sera and I'm going to be sharing with you a few of my favorite Christian podcasts that I've come across recently that I think you will also enjoy. I've done this video before, so this is kind of like a 2.0. My first one is my personal favorite. I just had to start off with it, and it's called Out of the Dark with Mandisa and Laura Williams. Mandisa is a Christian singer and Laura Williams is a licensed professional counselor. This is based around mental health coupled with Christianity and how to navigate that, and this has personally been really encouraging for me and something that I've been looking for lately. And I actually was listening to this while I worked, and before I knew it, I was done season 1 and season 2. I really hope that they come out with another season. If you haven't listened to it before, you will have so many good things to listen to. It brightens your day, especially when you're just like in that dark, deep pit, and it's nice just to have it on in the background. Maybe something that doesn't require a lot of brain power so you can focus, because there are so many good things in there. And of course they throw good recommendations for books and verses and all that kind of relates to each topic. Let me read some of the topics off to you. The benefit of sleep, dogs, cats, geckos, the value of pets. Interesting. I kind of forget some of these. Therapy is hard work. God, how our story constructs our view. Tribe, the importance of community. And the list goes on and on and on, and as you can tell, I really love this podcast, as I said, and I think you will as well. Number 2 is Becoming Us with Mariah and Joel Smallbone. Joel is in a band with his brother called For King and Country, which I've seen a couple of times in concert. Man, I miss concerts. This podcast is a 6-part. It's marketed as cinematic. I also recall there's probably YouTube videos of it, so you can go watch it. And something else I wanted to mention, all of these, I think, or most of them, are also available on a website called Access More. And you know, everywhere that you listen to your podcast, as they say, if you're someone who listens to podcasts. Back to Becoming Us. They get really raw, real, personal with their story, and they have another friend who I can't remember what to call her, but it's kind of like a counselor, and she kind of helps wrap things up and interpret things. But actually the main part that I really enjoyed was just hearing their story more, even if you don't know much about them. I actually didn't really know much about Mariah. It was great to hear about how they dealt with and deal with the good and the bad. Now, I don't know if they're going to be doing any more seasons of it. I also have to add, I totally forgot, but I was just looking back right now at the podcast, and it reminded me that there are a couple points where Joel shares some voice notes of the beginnings and different stages of the relationship that he hasn't shared with Mariah yet, and they're so touching, just her reaction. And even though it's not about me, I was just like, oh my gosh, how cool is that? It's like a time capsule, and this vulnerability is being shared. It just gives more insight. That's all I wanted to add there. Number 3 is Weathering the Storm with Ryan Stevenson, who is another Christian singer. I think I have some of his music, but I actually didn't know too much about him. It does give an episode where it talks about his story. For this one, I'm just actually gonna read the quick little summary. In this Weathering the Storm podcast, Ryan gives you a seat next to him as he vulnerably connects with friends, guests, and artists as they share their powerful testimonies, their stories about enduring the storms in their lives, and how God's faithfulness met them in their darkest moments. Now, this just like hooked me, goes perfectly with Weathering the Storm, I guess, if you're thinking fishing wise. Again, just like a perfect one, like the Out of the Dark mental health one. You were weathering a lot of different storms through something that's already pretty stormy, and especially helped me when, you know, you get those dark, sad, depressed moments. And even when I wasn't, it was just really encouraging to be listening to something while I was working. You know, filling yourself with Christian music, reading your Bible, devotionals, podcasts, and shutting out all those other things that you don't want. I'm not saying that you have to go hardcore with your day. Do it because you want to. This was a podcast, again, that I filled with most of my days, and I am done and also waiting for the next season. There are a lot of episodes for this one. Next one is called Loving the Outcome podcast with Jody and Chris from the band called Loving the Outcome. They're a duo, married, and they have 2 younger sons. This one has guests on it every episode and does subjects each episode that range from family, spirituality, wellness, and of course music, and they have a lot of really good guests on it. Now, I haven't listened to this one in quite a while, but I think they also had Mandisa, which she was in the Out of the Dark podcast, Sadie Robertson, which is in the Whoa That Good podcast, which I suggested in the first video. So many more good guests they have on there. They got a lot of good connections and great topics. Let me read you off some. Plum on letting go of mom guilt. Now, I don't connect with this one as much, but but I remember the artist. I remember the first time I heard one of her songs. It was actually in a breakfast place. I was like, oh, I love this song. Yeah, that's a little backstory. Let's go back to what other things we got going on here. Ellie Holcomb on Living Healthy and Whole. Dave Barnes on Heartfelt Living and Laughter as Medicine. Laughter, oh, I love laughter and haven't been getting it as much. We could all use a little laughter. Sadie Robertson on Using Social Media for Good. That's a really good topic. This next one that I want to share with you is called Dream Big by Bob Goff. Now, I've only listened to the first couple episodes of this one. This one is a newer one to me, but I remember my mom mentioning it and just mentioning him in general. I think he's got a couple good books. He's known as the guy with the balloons because that's his picture. And he mentions in the podcast, he's like, I'm not like that all the time. Like I do have my down moments. Again, it seems like this is another one where he has a lot of good guests on it. I can't recall, but I think maybe his son helps facilitate. I just noticed there's some specks on here that I need to clean, but you probably can't notice, so that's okay. Wow, my background dialogue is really coming through. Let's get back to focusing. Dream Big brings on guests to help encourage you to dream big, pursue your passions. Most people never give themselves permission or know how to chase their big ambitions. Our framework helps you discover, declare, and realize yours so you can have a fulfilling life and impact the world for good. Now, who doesn't want to do that and feel encouraged by that? Great suggestions, I hope, for you. Let me know in the comments if you've listened to any of these, if you have any other Christian podcast suggestions that I haven't mentioned in my first video or in this one. I'm always out for discovering more new things. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more of the videos that I make. Make sure to hit that bell icon to be notified of my next upload, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!